Tat Sat. I agree, Sky Guardian. Let us read from the Vachanamrut. I just have to find it. I know I brought it out. Okay, so we're going to take an interim and read from a text called the Vachanamrut. As far as spiritual texts go, it's relatively recent, coming from the spiritual discourses of Bhagwan Swaminarayan, whom existed at the turn of the 19th century. These are discourses that took place in the last 10 years of his life. Today we are reading from Gadhadā 155, Resoluteness in Worship, Remembrance and Observance of Spiritual Vows. It's a relatively short one. I'll do my best to translate the Sanskrit, because often there's a lot of it. I am in PJ's Suspicious Bee. On Mahavadhi the 11th, Samvat 1876, which is actually the 10th of February, 1820, Sriji Maharaj, Swaminarayan, was sitting on the east-facing veranda out of his own residence in Dada Akhar's Darbar in Gadhadā. He was dressed entirely in white clothes. At that time, an assembly of sadhus, monks, as well as devotees from various places had gathered before him. Then Sriji Maharaj said, "Please begin a question-answer session." Thereupon Muktanand Swami asked, "Why is a person unable to maintain steady resolve in worship, remembrance, and spiritual vows?" Sriji Maharaj explained, "A person's resolve does not remain steady due to the influence of adverse places, times, actions, and company." This goes into the concept of Sangha, and the highest point of control for this whole human system. It's the places, actions, times, people that we associate with that make the biggest influence on our lives. There are, in fact, 3 levels of this resolve. The highest, the intermediate, and the lowest. If places, times, actions, and company are extremely adverse, then even the highest resolve is dissolved. What then can be said of the intermediate and lowest levels of resolve? If, however, one's resolve remains exactly the same despite the influence of extremely adverse places, times, actions, and company, then the force of good deeds and merits previously performed by one must be extremely powerful. If, on the other hand, one's intellect becomes dirtied despite extremely favorable places, times, actions, and company, then it is because one must have committed a grave burden or spited against a great spiritual being, either in a past life or in this life. This is because despite association with favorable places, times, actions, and company, one's mind has still become unclean. Even so, if a person serves the great Purush, the cosmic person, diligently, their burdens will be burnt and reduced to ashes. On the other hand, if a person associates with a grave burdener, then their own burdens increase, and any pious deeds that they may have performed will also be destroyed. Furthermore, a person who puts their arms around the necks of people who are not living to the best of their abilities, we shall say. That is, they're blaming other people for their own lives, and then blames the divine by thinking, Why did the divine not keep my mind stable? They should be known as very foolish, utterly foolish, silly goofballs on the spiritual path. Indeed, indeed. Therefore, our surroundings, our associations are very important on the spiritual path. What we associate with. And one can have resolve even in adverse circumstances, as long as one has previously been engaging in meritorious acts and good deeds. This can prevent the mind from becoming dirtied by an unclean situation around us, so to speak. There's lots of interesting word choices that I've had to navigate around in this book, but I think I've done the best of my abilities interpreting it, given the context of this live stream. So thank you for listening.